Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We're here at the Unicorn launch for 2025. But first of all, Mr. Anderson, happy birthday. What a day to be coming and doing this.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's an exciting day, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's part of an exciting day. Hopefully it continues right the way through. I don't see any reason why not. It's always exciting coming to the Unicorn launch. Just happens to be on my birthday this time.
Launches have come a long way from when you were in your prime. These things didn't exist, where now it's a big day to be celebrated with all the new equipment and kit that we see.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's quite a number of years that I've been actually coming to the launches, and I've seen them develop from a small room in Nottingham to where we are today. Incredible.
How are you in yourself? It's been just over a year since we last spoke. How are things with you?
A year more mileage, and the model's getting older, but you know, I can still smile.
Have you watched that final performance, walk on, everything back that went down with the seniors? Because it was quite iconic, and we could see a tear in the eye during that walk on as well.
It was quite an emotional moment. Yeah, I'd be a liar if I said it wasn't. So, which is understandable. You know, I've been almost 40 years treading the boards and hitting the boards, and sometimes hitting the board. So yeah, it was emotional. But, you know, one page is turned, another opens, and there we go, or another door opens.
Well, we can still see the smile on your face. You still love the sport as much as you ever have. We can see that.
I do. I mean, I still do a few exhibitions here and there, but more of a fun show these days. And I still play local league darts. I've stopped playing Super League now, and my game really isn't as consistent as it needs to be. There are younger, better players coming through, so give them the chance. But I play local league, and it's I don't feel as though I'm going to work. I'm going out for a game of darts with my pals, and I produce a good game now and then. Not so good most of the time.
Yeah, look, the darting landscape has just been completely rewritten since the World Championships, with a certain Mr. Littler bursting onto the scene, this 16-year-old phenomenon. Look, you've been around a long time. You saw Phil do this, you saw Michael do this, now we've got Luke. How do you rate Luke against the other two that have set the world alight?
Prodigious talent, tremendous talent. And I think the bar has been moved up yet again, and that's good for the game. It's going to hit a ceiling sooner or later. And he's getting pretty close to it, I would think. Yeah. Well, I'm not at all jealous.
Well, we see both Lukes and the way they are raising the bar, and you said it has to hit at some point. Where is that ceiling, do you feel?
I don't know, but I'm never going to hit it.
We've seen as well, obviously, that the organisations are spread across now. We've got the ADC doing bits, we've got the WDF taking over from what was the BDO, the PDC. What's your assessment of the landscape of darts at the moment?
I think it's very healthy, extremely healthy. I mean, if you turn the clock way back to when the WDC and then PDC was formed, what we wanted to do was create an avenue for those who are good enough to progress and make a living. And by God, we've done that. And everything is progressing beautifully. And the standards at the top are reflected by the increasing standards or improving standards at the bottom. And that's the way it should be in a progressive world.
When you were part of that split of the 16 at the time, did you ever imagine that darts would be where it is now? Was this the goal and the aim, but did you think it'd ever get there?
I think it's actually advanced quicker than any of us ever imagined. I'm very proud of that. To have been a small part in the development, and the fact that it keeps expanding and becoming even more popular is heartwarming. It's good.
The Winmore World Masters has been the rebrand of it. Now it's not with the WDF as it was, a tournament that I know is very close to your heart back in the day. That format has made the tournament iconic. Are you pleased the format is back in professional darts?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's, as you say, it's a tournament that meant an awful lot to me personally. And it happened to... I was the first one to win it 3 years running from the floor. It wasn't easy.
I can imagine.
But if tournament's worth winning, surely it shouldn't be easy.
No, 100. Were you disappointed when the WDF changed format of their Masters to what it was now, because it kind of killed that whole reputation of the tournament when it moved to the leg play format instead of the sets.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't surprised either. I mean, people try to change things for an improvement. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
And I'm guessing just by that, this one is the one that you put in the didn't work category.
I didn't say that, but yeah, you're probably right. I'm glad it's gone back to where it should be, and hopefully someone in the future will emulate what myself and Martin Adams do.
Do you still enjoy watching all the darts? Because I remember when I first, you were one of the people I interviewed when I first started this back in the day, and you were like, I've watched this. Do you still enjoy watching everything, or is that kind of slowed down a little bit?
I probably am not as good a watcher, but then again, I was never a good watcher, really. I cherry pick. I'll pick out the games I want to watch. And so far, you know, they haven't let me down at all. I mean, there's been some fabulous performances. And I continue to watch with quite a bit of interest. I get a bit jealous. Not so much for what they're hanging in front of the donkey to make it run, although that does have a bearing. But the standards are so high now. You know, I think about myself in my pomp. I probably wouldn't get past the first round.
Really? That's a big thing to make, considering
I averaged 98.
But the equipment's changed, and like you were averaging those numbers on
Dartboard's slightly different.
This is what I mean. So
yeah, but I mean, given that, the standards have improved.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, because people realise that there is a hell of a good living to be made now in the sport. And the money simply wasn't there in my day. So Barry Hearn has been good to his word. He brought the big money into darts. Fantastic. And that's why people are now putting in the hours on the practice board, which I did, but only preceding a big tournament.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because I was busy doing exhibitions, etc., 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 which is all well and good, but it doesn't exactly train you. Because you can, in exhibitions, you can afford to be perhaps not quite as ruthless as you were in a big tournament.
Would you like to wind the clock back and have one night on one of these big stages in your pomp? Just one night?
I've heard some dopey questions in my time. You betcha I'd like to turn the clock back. But I'd like to have my game back as well.
That's what I mean. If you could turn back and be Bob Anderson in your prime, would you like one night in one of these massive arenas?
Yeah, I would. Probably a little more than one night. Might have a chance to make some money.
Bob, it's a pleasure catching up with you here at the Unicorn Launch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.